Once upon a time, Barbie and her family were going on a cruise. They had their lifeguard outfits packed, their towels and goggles. All they needed was a boat. Just then, Skipper saw an ad in the newspaper for a boat. The ad said, "Boat for sale, cheap, owner moving to Florida." So they went to see the boat. When they got there, they saw a beautiful yacht. It was white with pink trim, and it even had a Barbie logo on the side. But when Barbie looked inside, she found something strange. There were cobwebs everywhere and a skeleton of a rat sitting at the helm. But Barbie wasn't scared. She was excited. "This is perfect," she said. "We can fix it up and make it our own." And so they bought the boat for only $10. But when they started to clean it up, they found that it needed a lot more than they thought. The paint was peeling off, the engine was broken, and the cushions were full of holes. But they didn't care. They invited all their friends to help them fix up the boat. While they were working, Ken came over to help. He brought some tools and some paint. "What color do you want me to paint the trim?" he asked. "Yellow," said Barbie, "like the sun." Ken started to paint, but he wasn't very good at it. He kept getting paint on the deck and the rails. Barbie tried to be helpful, but she just ended up making a bigger mess. Just then, Teresa came over with some food for everyone. She brought sandwiches and fruit and soda. Everyone sat down to eat, but no one wanted to talk. They were all worried about the boat. It looked like they would never be able to fix it up. Suddenly, Midge had an idea. She went to the store and bought some new cushions. Then she cut up the old ones to use as patterns. The other girls helped her sew, and soon they had brand new cushions for the boat. Ken finished painting the trim, and it looked so pretty. The yellow paint really made the pink pop. They fixed up the engine and cleaned the decks, and soon it looked almost as good as new. But there was still one thing they had to do. They had to find a name for the boat. They thought of all sorts of names, but nothing seemed to fit. Then Skipper had an idea. "How about the Dream Cruise?" she said. Everyone loved the name, and they all cheered. The next day, they all got dressed in their best clothes and went on the Dream Cruise. They sailed around the island, and it was the most fun they had ever had. They played games, they went swimming, and they had a picnic. But then suddenly, the wind started to pick up. The waves started to get bigger and bigger, and before they knew it, the Dream Cruise was caught in a storm. The girls were scared, but Ken and the boys stayed calm. They knew that if they panicked, the girls would get scared. The storm lasted for hours, but finally it started to calm down. The sun came out and a beautiful rainbow appeared in the sky. Everyone was safe and sound, and they all felt like they had been through an adventure together. They knew that they would never forget this trip, and they couldn't wait to go on another adventure together. So that's the story of how Barbie and her friends had a dream cruise. The end, eh? Hey, have you ever been on a cruise? I have. It was so much fun. We went to the Bahamas and we stayed at this really nice hotel. We had a private balcony and we could see the ocean from our room. It was so relaxing. One day we went snorkeling and I saw a huge sea turtle. It was amazing. Another day we went to this little island and we could buy all kinds of cool souvenirs. I got a necklace with a starfish on it. And of course, we had to go to the beach. The water was so clear and I could see all kinds of colorful fish. I also got to try jet skiing for the first time. It was so much fun. I went with my mom and dad and my little brother. We had the best time. What about you? Have you ever been on a cruise? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun. Now it's time to learn about cruises. First, let's talk about what a cruise ship is. A cruise ship is a large boat that is used for transporting passengers on vacations. Cruise ships are typically much larger than other boats, and they usually have a lot of amenities on board, such as restaurants, bars, pools, and even casinos. There are many different types of cruise ships. Some are designed for short trips, while others are better suited for longer vacations. Some are more luxurious while others are more affordable. No matter what your budget or travel style may be, there is a cruise ship out there for you. If you're planning on taking a cruise, it's important to choose the right type of ship. If you're looking for a more luxurious experience, then you'll want to choose a premium or luxury line. If you're on a budget, then a value line may be a better option. And if you're traveling with kids, then a family line may have more activities that they'll enjoy. Once you've chosen your cruise line, it's time to start planning your itinerary. This is the route that the ship will take. and it's important to choose one that has ports of call that you want to visit. Some popular ports of call include Nassau in the Bahamas, Cozumel in Mexico, and St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It's also important to think about when you want to take your cruise. The time of year that you travel can affect the weather, the crowds, and the price of your cruise. For example, if you want to avoid hurricanes, then you'll want to cruise during the summer or fall. If you want to save money, then you may want to cruise during the off-season. When choosing a cabin, you'll want to think about the size of your group and the features that are important to you. For example, if you're traveling with kids, then you'll probably want a cabin with 2 double beds. If you want to be close to the action, then you'll want a cabin that is close to the elevator. No matter what type of cruise you take, there are some things that you should always pack. Be sure to bring sunscreen, a hat, and sunglasses, especially if you're going to be spending time on the deck. You should also pack comfortable shoes for walking around the ship and exploring ports of call. And don't forget to bring your swimsuit and now that you know the basics of cruises, it's time to plan your next vacation. With so many different cruise lines, itineraries, and cabins to choose from, there is a perfect cruise out there for you. So start planning today and get ready for the cruise of a lifetime.